If there is one thing I've learned about myself over the years, it is that I do not have good decision-making skills. So, I have had trouble scheduling days to record with Chen and Ruby, because I tend to wait till the last second, because I keep forgetting. And when I do remember, it's an ungodly hour, so I can't just text and risk waking them or bothering them at work. So today we just have a little solo video where I'm gonna chat. Not exactly sure what I'm gonna chat about, but enjoy this lovely speed paint of Snow White as I do so. Also, pardon my sleepy morning voice, because I'm doing this last minute. At first I was thinking I might just read Reddit posts, because, you know, Reddit posts, but I don't know, I'm not feeling it. Maybe I can just tell the story of how I found out I was allergic to bees. Alright. So, when I was a kid, I was very young, somehow in my brain, the wires were connected that we kiss the things we love and the things that do things for us. Like an appreciative kiss. Which in hindsight is really weird, but I was an odd child. I would bite people, so I'm not surprised these wires got confused. So, back to the story. I used to kiss things like, I was under the age of 4, and I remember kissing an oven, but not like the outside of the oven, but like the inside of the oven, after my mom had just taken something out of it. I want to say it was corn dogs, but like, she takes the food out, and I was so excited for the food that my little toddler brain was just like, thank you, oven, and I leaned down and kissed the open door of it. And apparently after that I was mad at it because it bit me, and so I tried to spank it, which did not go well because it was a hot oven. But in a similar vein, I found out I was allergic to bees by kissing one day. I was still under the age of pre-K, so like under the age of 4, and I was at my aunt's house, and I was playing in her living room, and I don't remember where she was. She may have been in the kitchen. But she had these sliding glass doors in her living room, and this little bee dude flew in. And I have no idea what kind of bee it was, but all I could think of in my brain was, this is a tiny flying Bulbasaur from Pokemon. And I played with this bee, like we had a little chill time, and at the end of my chill time I leaned forward and tried to kiss it. And so it stung me on the lip, and then flew off. Well, as best as it could. But I didn't care where it went because my lip hurt, so I went to my aunt. And she was kind of confused on why my lip was swollen and stuff, but I told her I was playing with the bee, so she surmised I was stung by the bee. But as some time passes, she realizes that my lip is swelling. And then I stopped being able to play effectively. Like, I started having all of these symptoms. And so by the time my mom came, I think she called her, but in my head, she just got off work and was coming to pick me up anyways. So by the time my mom gets there, I can hardly breathe. And my mom, actually this may have been when she was taking classes. She wanted to be a medical assistant. So like, nursing, I guess? I'm not sure. But my aunt popped me with some Benadryl. My mom sees how wild I'm looking, and she whisks me away to the hospital. And we get there, she runs me in, and she tells the nurse what's going on. And I was under the level of the counter, so like the nurse couldn't see me when my mom put me down, and I was never a light child. But the nurse kind of is like, oh, okay, you think maybe she's having an allergic reaction? And my mom's like, yes, I do think that. So the nurse was like, oh, let me see. And she walks out from behind the station, and she looks at me, and she goes, oh my god, and just immediately calls for a doctor. And so the doctor comes in, similar situation, sees me and goes, oh my god, and runs off. Just like grabs me and goes, and my mom's like, what is going on? And starts running with me. After they got me situated, they explained to my mother that I am severely allergic to bees, and that if I had gotten there any later, in the stage of anaphylaxis that I was in, I probably would have had my throat completely closed, and I would have stopped being able to breathe and potentially died. My mom is just like, oh my god, now we know she is allergic to bees. I would love to say this is the only time I was stung by a bee, But like, no, we had the entire EpiPen fiasco later. But for this particular instance, the doctors got me sorted out. I don't really remember much about the process of them getting me sorted out, but they had to give me a shot in the hip. Warning for needles, I guess. I forgot to mention that. But I wasn't always afraid of needles, but I am now. But at the time, it was just like, okay, they're gonna poke me. It's probably not gonna hurt worse than a bee sting, and that hurt kind of a lot, considering it was on my lip. But my mom was trying to reason for me that I had to be still. Like, they would bring people in to hold me down if I wasn't still. Like, I've got to be calm and mostly just be still. Be still so the nurse can hit what she needs to hit. And just as the nurse is starting to, like, move to give me the shot, I sat up. I just sat up very quickly and was like, hey, Mom, if I'm really still and good, can I get a new Barbie doll when we go home? And my mom's kind of rolling her eyes like, yes, please, just get the shot. And I was like, okay. So I laid back down. And the nurse would start to move, and then I'd pop back up and be like, can I get a new outfit for the Barbie doll? And my mom would be like, yes, please, just lay down and get this shot. And I'd lay back down again. As the nurse was about to hit me with the shot, I sat back up and was like, can we have McDonald's when I leave? And the nurse was like, yes, I will personally drive you to McDonald's if you will just sit down and get this shot. And so I got the shot, and we did end up going to McDonald's. I think I did get a Barbie doll. I don't know. I wasn't into Barbie dolls for too long after that. We didn't play with Barbie dolls like people are supposed to play with Barbie dolls. I had a brother, and we would just take the Barbie dolls apart as best we could and hide the pieces around the house and make a scavenger hunt. But that's a story for a different day. But yeah, that's how we found out I was allergic to bees. Later, where I got stung by a bee, I don't actually remember anything. I just know I was older because I vaguely remember being just in front of the hospital and having to stab myself with the EpiPen. But I do remember after the first one, I had the EpiPen, and then an instructional video. Like, it was on a VHS tape, and I had a TV with a VCR in my room. I have this really bad habit of putting a movie into the VCR and setting the VCR to automatically rewind it and play it again when it's done rewinding. And I had done this with the instructional video for the use of the EpiPen. And I cannot tell you why. Like, it stayed in the VCR for like a week straight on loop. So, I don't know. Something about that sticks with me. You know, in hindsight, this is probably a story I should have put on the fairy OC that we uploaded last week that had the pet bee with it. That would have made much more sense than Snow White. I guess I can leave you guys with a Snow White joke just to kind of be on brand. I don't think we talked about fairies at all in the last video. I don't know, the video isn't really the important part. It's more the storytelling, but like, I don't want people to get bored when they put it on, so I have a speed paint playing. I don't know, regardless, who's Snow White's least favorite relative? The answer is Granny Smith, in case you were wondering. Maybe I should just retitle this entire video, instead of like how I was allergic to bees, to be just kids are stupid. And I'm allowed to say that because I was a genuinely stupid child. Like, I got my hand stuck in a mixer, and it was stupid simple to solve. But like, I got my hand stuck in a mixer, I kissed an oven, I kissed a bee, I did a lot of stupid things. But like, also, I have a friend, well, I have a cousin, and her son, while we were on the phone one day, ran up, and he said, hey mama, guess what my favorite kind of plant is? And she was like, what kind? And he goes, face plant, and from the other side of the phone, I just hear thud. So like, while it was funny, kids are not exactly the brightest. Alright. I think that's gonna do it for now. That should be enough. I'm sorry for the scratchy morning voice, and I hope you guys all have wonderful days. New video coming next week, Thursday or Friday. Look for it. Until then, bye-bye!